I'm Brianna, Senior Advisor for the Committee to elect Tawnya Morris. Welcome to 10 Minutes with Tawnya. In today's episode, we have our candidate Tawnya Morris, as well as Tracy Sanders. Ladies, please introduce yourselves.
Candidate for mayor for the city of Southfield, also known as your councilwoman that cares. I served on the Southfield City Council for 5.5 years. I ran a HUD housing counseling agency for over 20 years, and I've also been a HUD certified housing counselor for 10 years. And I am joined by my illustrious comrade, Mrs. Tracy Sanders. Tracy?
Hi, my name is Tracy Sanders. I'm a homeowner, I'm a real estate investor, and I'm also a landlord in Metro Detroit. In addition, I am a certified housing counselor for HUD. And I'm glad to be with you this evening, Ms. Morris.
Thank you, Tracy. And Tracy's also my sister, and she has ran our HUD housing counseling program for many, many years at our organization.
Thank you, ladies. Let's dive right in. Tawnya, the question for today is, what issues have you seen with fair housing in Southfield, and what experience do you have to build a plan to fix the problem?
In response to your question, Brianna, the first thing that I think we need to do as it relates to fair housing concerns in our city is all that we can do to help people keep their homes. We need to seriously review the city's right of first refusal program, the full process and practices that are being administered, and whether or not we should continue with this program. When people are at risk for losing their homes to foreclosure, we need to enforce the existing council approved resolution 2017.341. That's the resolution that I wrote to ensure that there is a fair and equitable adjudication process for people to redeem their homes. It's in place, but I don't know that it is effectively being adhered to. Also, we need to attract young working families and millennials to our city. In order to do that, we need affordable housing for some of our young professionals. So I plan to partner with developers to identify opportunities to repurpose or redevelop vacant buildings or land. Also, I know the city has begun selling vacant lots. I don't know that this is actually a fair housing issue as of yet, but I believe we need to keep a watchful eye on the sale of these parcels, making sure they are sold with fairness and equity. I believe residents should get the first opportunity to purchase a vacant lot that is adjacent to their home. But not only that, we have to make sure that the developer, whoever is building a home on a vacant lot, that they build the home consistent with the design quality and architectural standards of the existing homes that are already in the neighborhood. I have a mechanical engineering background, so I can certainly help with that aspect. We also have an issue with uncapping, and that's when you purchase a home and you have of the mindset that your taxes are going to be a certain price, and then they uncap and escalate. And Tracy, if you could just share some information on that, because I know you've had to experience that with some of your housing clients as well.
Well, typically the price of the taxes or the tax rate is based on the value of the home. However, what surprised me this time was the tax rate that the previous homeowner was paying. That is what was uncapped. And so it was almost as if the city had to catch up with the taxes that she should have been paying as her home increased in value. But what happened was that catch up rolled over to me. And so once I purchased the home at the much higher property value than what she had purchased it at, those increased taxes rolled over to me. And so even though there was a certain tax rate on the listing, the property listing, which is what I thought I would be acquiring, it was very different after 12 months in the home, and the taxes went up quite a bit. So apparently it was uncapped, and we were surprised by that, and that was devastating.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you guys were able to keep your home although, you fuss a lot when you have to pay those taxes. But I'm wondering how many people have had, hardship as a result of, their mortgage. If their taxes are rolled into their mortgage going up $200, $300, $400 a month, because that tax rate is uncapped.
Well, while I was at the nonprofit that you spoke of, where we worked together for 22 years, I did get phone calls about that. If you're lucky and in a position where you have resources, you can do it. But some people, that catches them by surprise and they're unable to, fit in that additional $300 or $400 a month. That's a lot for some people. But what can you do? I guess you have the option of packing up and selling, which is unreasonable and impractical. After you've only lived in the home for a year, you'll lose more just on the real estate fees and the cost to move. It's very unfortunate. But in the homebuyer education class that I teach, I do try to warn and advise potential homeowners to do your due diligence and go down to the city assessor's office and just check that out to find out how much those taxes will increase based on the offer number that you've presented, that you think you're going to buy the home at. And that should give you a little bit better of an idea, and at least not be so surprised.
Yeah, I was going to say, our city assessor just retired, so we have a new city assessor, and I think that's worth having a conversation with him about. Is there something that the city of Southfield could send out to various homeowners, or do we need to talk to the realtor community to educate, or our housing counseling community to educate new homeowners on this process, that they really need to be aware that there's a possibility that their taxes could increase based upon that property value. So that's something that we need to look at.
Also, to find out how often the city is doing an assessment of the homes.
Mm-hmm.
How often is the city actually assessing the homes in the city, and finding out their value so that they can assess the proper tax rate at that time?
That's a good point. That's something that we could inquire about, how often are assessments done, and making sure that we educate our residents on those as well. I mean, you get a statement every year, right? You get your assessed value statement in the mail every year. But that's just something that we need to pay closer attention to. Another thing that I think we need to focus on is, overdevelopment. I am strongly against building multifamily housing in neighborhood zone for single family homes. And it seems to be an aggressive push for this type of development. I don't think that's a smart way to develop a community. And, if you want to develop multifamily housing, there are a lot of abandoned properties in our city, and that one could consider such type of development. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to run for mayor, to keep a watchful eye on those kinds of activities.
Thank you, ladies, for sharing today, and thank you for tuning in. Check out morrisformayor.com for more campaign information, and we'll see you on our next episode coming soon.